Hey vinyl community, welcome to episode number 3 of RB's Vinyl Corner. Today this episode is going to be about the Dutch heavy metal hard rock singer Anneke van Giersbergen. And I already talked about her a couple of episodes ago where I showed you some of her stuff with her new band Vuur. Very hard, bombastic heavy metal. And she's also very well known for her work with The Gathering, which she fronted many years. Today in this episode, I'm going to show you a different side of Anneke van Giersbergen. Because besides of all that bombastic hard rock and metal thing she has been doing for a lot of years now, she also has a lot of other things she is involved with. Some things that are really surprising if you only know her from her heavy metal side. And so I'm really excited to show you some of her other stuff. So stay tuned. A couple of weeks ago, I've been to 2 different events with Anneke van Giersbergen. And one of them was in a place called Hoofddorp, which is near Schiphol Airport. And the event was it was a first edition of an event which is called Music Talks. And this one is organized by a venue which was called The Duiker. And the one organizing this event is named Patrick Lambert. And this guy is actually a music journalist writing for different magazines. And one of the magazines he is writing for is the well-known Dutch heavy metal and hard rock magazine Aardschok. And I'm holding a copy here because this one has Anneke van Giersbergen on the cover. And he also wrote the interview and the article on her and her band Vuur in this edition of Aardschok. So the idea of Music Talks is to let the audience get to know the artist behind the music. So basically what happens, it's a live talk show where the interviewer is going to ask a lot of stuff to the certain artist about her life and her music and her influences and all that kind of stuff. And then also, of course, mixed up with some live performing of different songs. And the idea is pretty cool. So I thought, okay, this is an event that I really wanted to go to because this is just different than just going to a concert. And as you probably already know, I'm a big fan of Anneke, so this was certainly one of those that I didn't want to miss. So I went to Hoofddorp, to this place called The Duiker, to see this wonderful show. So when I came there, I'd never been there before, the setting of this whole event was really nice. It was very intimate. There was not a lot of audience, so there were different chairs and different tables, and you were actually very close to the podium. And the podium itself was like there was a chair and a sofa, and it was like a living room setting with a big screen behind that would show photos and video clips and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool. And what I liked about this event is that it was very intimate and very personal. The audience was also invited to join in and ask questions, and I came to ask some questions too, which were answered by Anneke, and it was a really nice show. It existed of 3 parts. The first part was a personal round. This is where the interviewer started to ask questions about Anneke's personal life, but also about her influences and the music she listened to in her childhood and in her youth and what she's listening to today. And it's very nice because it also gives you an idea of the influences that are direct, traceable to her music and her songwriting. The second round was about her career, so we came to know a lot of fun things about her time with The Gathering and about her touring, and really cool. And the third round, which wrapped it all up, was more about her recent music and about her future projects. And then she also performed some acoustic songs. So let's go with me to Hoofddorp. I'm going to show you some stuff.
So I actually made it to Hoofddorp, which is a place where I've never ever been before in my whole life. It's been quite a journey, so I'm going to use my navigation now to see if I can find my way to the venue where it's actually going to happen. So here we go. Well, I actually think I made it to the venue. It was very short walk, so I'm pretty early and right on time. So let's enjoy the evening.
En ik was vroeger heel gek op gewoon zangers, goede zangers, zo Barbra Streisand, Diana Ross, maar ook later ontdekte ik natuurlijk metal, Bruce Dickinson, Mike Patton, Freddie Mercury natuurlijk. Dus ik had daar heel snel echt een voorliefde voor hele goede zangers en bands met goede zangers. Maar gewoon vanuit Anneke, vanuit mezelf, een dikke vette metalplaat maken. Dat had ik eigenlijk nog nooit gedaan. En dat wil ik al heel lang heel graag, maar ik dacht, ja, ik moet daar de mensen voor hebben, we moeten een band bij elkaar vinden die kick-ass is, want het moet wel echt heel goed worden. En ja, op een gegeven moment had ik die bij elkaar zo per ongeluk, hè, met Area. In their big black car, to be a threat to the man in power. I hid my yo-yo in the garden. En in één keer had ik wel die band gewoon. En toen dacht ik, ja, dan ga ik nu die plaat maken. Zo gedaan. Oh God, Daddy, I won't forget. 'Cause every time it rains, you're here in my head, like the sun's coming out. Ooh. Bijna bewust dat ik gewoon heel graag werk met mensen die ongeveer 10 jaar jonger zijn dan ik, omdat eigenlijk zij alweer heel veel meer weten over hoe dingen er nu aan toe gaan online of gewoon met muziek of in instrumentbeheersing of gewoon nieuwe dingen die ze ontdekken waar jij net uit bent. Gewoon. En dat kan.
Natuurlijk al verteld hoe leuk je bent en hoe lief en hoe goed en hoe mooi en hoe geweldig en nou, daar heb ik dus ook niks aan toe te voegen, dat klopt allemaal. Ik wou graag even toevoegen dat ik heel graag met je werk en vooral de samenwerking voor het nieuwe Vuuralbum, het debuutalbum, heel bijzonder heb gevonden. Heel fijn en vooral ook het resultaat iets is waar ik nog heel lang trots op zal zijn. Nou, ik kijk dus ook enorm uit om die stappen te vervolgen, want volgens mij hebben we een heel mooie weg ingeslagen. En denk ik dat we echt nog te gekke dingen samen met jou, met de studio, met de band kunnen doen.
The sky for your love, for I have promised, oh, to be with you tonight and for the time that will come.
Project. Volgens mij was het in 1995 of zo. En toen, ik zag het op tv volgens mij, zag ik The Gathering met Strange Machines. En ik zag Anneke en ik had zoiets van, wow, daar wil ik bij werken. Dus ik heb... Eindelijk in 1998 heb ik het zover kunnen krijgen en heeft ze meegedaan met mijn Into Electric Castle album. En ja, we hebben ook nog een tour met z'n tweeën. Een akoestisch toertje, wat voor mij als kluizenaar was het echt een hele grote stap. Maar ja, als je de kans krijgt om met Anneke te toeren, dan doe je het. Ik vind haar echt een van de beste zangeressen. Ja, je verwacht, ik zou zeggen in Nederland, maar echt in de wereld gewoon. Dus, ja, sorry Anneke, maar ik ga nog heel vaak met je werken.
Dankjewel voor deze speciale avond.
Perfect example of the many faces of Anneke van Giersbergen is this album called Desire the Reckless by Lorraineville. It's the second album of Lorraineville, and she is actually one of the members of this band. This is completely different than anything she did before. We all know her from her bombastic music, but this is more like Americana, some roots music and some country. It's really American music. And she's just part of this band. There are other singers in this band. And they actually recorded 2 albums and a live album. This is the second album. During the breaks between these 3 rounds, we were able to ask Anneke van Giersbergen some questions. And I asked her if there were any future plans for another Lorraineville album, and she didn't answer that with a yes or a no. She kind of like said, you know, it all depends on timing and schedules, and she's working really hard now with Führer, all the touring she's doing right now, and all the other stuff she's involved with. But the Sunday following this Music Talks event, she said she was going to perform a live set in Kampen, which is a place very near Zwolle, up in the north of Holland. And she was doing a live set there together with fellow Lorraineville band member Gert-Jan van der Weert, who is actually playing the keys on the albums. And she said that's going to be a very nice and special occasion, and we're going to play a lot of Lorraineville songs as well. So if you have time, come over. And it was completely free. There was no entrance fee asked. So, and I went like, oh, this is a nice chance to see her actually doing some of these songs, because by the time these albums and this whole thing with Lorraineville happened, it completely went by. I just didn't notice it until last year. It wasn't until last year that I found out about this. So I missed that whole thing. I missed all the concerts they did and the promotion of the albums, because my focus back in those days were on completely different things.
running my own karate school, which became a complete failure. But this just, went by completely. So I thought this could be a nice chance to see some of this Lorraineville thing being performed live. So this is what I did this Sunday. I went to Kampen, which was a pretty lengthy trip with the train and buses and all that stuff. But it was worth every minute of time I spent it for it. When I came there, it was a beautiful theater, and the concert or the performance, the gig, wasn't performed in the actual theater, but in the cafe of the theater. So it was a really intimate thing also. But it was really nice. And the big surprise was that fellow member of this band and one of the lead singers, which is Eric Nijmeijer, also came in and joined in for a couple of songs. So there were actually 3 persons from Lorraineville doing some songs there. And of course, as you can see here, I was able to let this album signed by all 3 of them. Like I said, the gig with Gert-Jan van der Weert was done in Stadsgehoorzaal in Kampen, which is this great theater. And that was actually the same place where the second album, Desire the Reckless, was also recorded. I'm going to open it for you so that you can see the inside. Because here you can have a view on the stage where they installed their equipment and recorded the album almost in its entirety in a live setting to create a live atmosphere on the album. And I think they succeeded in that because it became a very nice album. No hard rock, no heavy metal, but real nice Americana, root and country kind of music. Desire the Reckless. So if you ever have a chance of listening to some of the stuff, you just go to YouTube and you just type Lorraineville, and then you will have tons of videos of live performances, studio rehearsals and all that kind of stuff. They actually have a profile also there. You can go there and look for some nice videos. So anyway, I went to Kampen and I made a little registration of that trip and some snippets of the performances over there, and I hope you're gonna enjoy that. So here we go. So as you can see, I'm on the station, this time in Maarsen again, and I'm gonna go over to the next trip. This time I'm gonna go to a place which is called Kampen, which is pretty far away from here, but I hope it's gonna be worth the trip because I'm going to a what they call Sunday sessions, which is just a couple of artists sitting there playing some music. In this case, it's Anneke van Giersbergen again. So she's gonna play with Gert-Jan van der Weert, and together they were part of this project which is called Lorraineville. It's gonna be pretty interesting, and I hope to hear some good music. So I'm gonna keep you posted. Here we go. I guess someone forgot their socks. Way to Burgwal 84, which is the street where the location is of the Stadsgehoorzaal, where this event is going to take place. So I think I'm on the right way. So let's see where we end up, right? Again, I've never been here before my whole life, and so see what we can wind up with. Anyway, keep you posted again. Here we go. To the place where I need to be. This is Stadsgehoorzaal in Kampen, and let's go inside and have some fun.
With the young fell asleep.
surprises of this afternoon was that they introduced Eric Nijmeijer to come up on the stage. And he came up on the stage and he played some great songs together with Anneke. One of the highlights for me was their performance of a song called Some December Morning, which is actually written by Ilse de Lange, which is another female artist that I happen to like very much. She is a Dutch country singer, but country from origins, but she, evolved into a lot of other musical styles as well. Again, also a very diverse singer. But she actually wrote or co-wrote this song, Some December Morning, which is from Lorraine Ville's debut album. Wonderful performance, and I would like to show you some of that.
Sunday town from home.
Alright, and that's it. That was my registration of Anneke van Giersbergen in Kampen and Anneke van Giersbergen in Hoofddorp during music talks. And I really hope you liked this episode. I put a lot of work into this, and the next one is going to be a blast also, because I'm going to take you with me to Tilburg, to the rock concert venue 013. I'm going to take you with me to a concert of the heavy metal band Arch Enemy. But until then, rock on.